If you've ever hidden in the bathroom just to breathe for 1 minute away from your kids, you are not a bad mom. You're overwhelmed. I'm Dr. Knit, and we need to talk about the part of motherhood nobody admits out loud. One of the most painful parts of motherhood burnout is how invisible it is. People notice a messy house, they notice if dinner is late, but nobody notices the 1,000 tiny moments where your nervous system never gets to fully rest. Somebody always needs something. Somebody is touching you, asking questions, crying, climbing on you while you're trying to think, and eventually your brain stops feeling like a peaceful place to live in. I know this sounds horrible, but sometimes you don't even want anyone to talk to you anymore. Not because you're cold, because your mind feels overcrowded. And then comes the guilt. You look at your child and think, they deserve a happier mom. But listen carefully. A loving mother can still be emotionally exhausted. Those two things can exist together. The next time you feel yourself shutting down, don't force yourself to instantly become cheerful. Just lower the pressure for 10 seconds. Put your hand on your chest and quietly say, I am overstimulated right now. Not dangerous, just overloaded. That sentence matters more than you think. There's also this grief nobody warns mothers about. The grief of disappearing a little. Sometimes you miss yourself so much it physically hurts. The version of you who could sit in silence, watch a movie without interruption, leave the house without packing 17 things first. And then the guilt hits again because you think, good moms shouldn't miss their old life. But that thought is unfair. Missing yourself does not mean you regret your child. It means you are still a human being underneath the caregiving. And honestly, I think many mothers secretly panic because they can't remember the last time someone asked how they were doing and actually waited for the real answer. Here's something small but powerful. Stop asking yourself, why can't I handle this better? Ask, how long have I been carrying too much without recovery? That question changes everything. Because suddenly you stop treating yourself like the problem, and you start seeing the exhaustion for what it really is, accumulated emotional weight. Sometimes burnout shows up as anger, fast anger, loud anger, the kind where your child spills one tiny thing and suddenly you feel rage exploding through your body, way bigger than the moment itself. And afterward you sit there thinking, what is wrong with me? Probably nothing is wrong with you. Your nervous system has just been running on emergency mode for too long. Children borrow emotional safety from us. That's true. But mothers also need somewhere to borrow safety from. And many moms are trying to co-regulate an entire household while emotionally alone themselves. That's exhausting. So in those heated moments, don't start with controlling your child. Start with physically slowing your own body first. Unclench your jaw, drop your shoulders, speak quieter than your anger wants to speak. Then say this exact sentence. Mommy is very overwhelmed right now. I need one slow breath before I answer. That tiny pause can interrupt a whole emotional spiral. Not perfectly, just enough to protect both of you a little more. Here's another thing mothers almost never admit. Sometimes the hardest part isn't the child. It's the constant feeling that you are failing at everything simultaneously. If you rest, the chores pile up. If you clean, you feel emotionally absent. If you work, guilt. If you stay home, guilt. It's like motherhood quietly turns every direction into self-blame. And social media makes it worse sometimes. You see these calm, organized mothers baking heart-shaped pancakes at 7 a.m. while you're hiding in the bathroom eating crackers because you haven't had a second alone all day. I've had moments where I thought, I cannot do this for 18 more years. And that thought scared me. But scary thoughts are not predictions. They are emotional smoke alarms, usually signaling exhaustion, isolation, and unmet needs, not lack of love. So instead of asking, am I a good mom today? Ask, did I show up with love somewhere inside the chaos? Because perfection is not what makes children feel safe. Emotional repair does. You do not need to become a completely different mother overnight. Burnout heals in smaller, quieter ways than people think. Sometimes healing looks like drinking your coffee while it's still hot. Sometimes it looks like texting one honest sentence to a friend instead of pretending you're fine. Sometimes it's sitting on the floor next to your child instead of performing happiness you don't actually feel. Children do not need a constantly cheerful mother. They need a mother who feels emotionally real and emotionally safe. And honestly, one of the most healing things you can tell yourself is this: I can love my children deeply and still struggle deeply. Those realities do not cancel each other out. If your mind has been whispering, I don't want to be a mom anymore, maybe what it's truly saying is, I don't want to feel this alone anymore. And that is a very different sentence. Exhausted mothers are not failures. They are usually mothers who have been strong for too long without enough support. You're doing better than your guilt tells you. Subscribe if you want a space that feels safe and honest. And what topic do you want next? Tell me in the comments.